Hello everybody, in this video I have a scrapbook process to share with you using the Simple Stories Vintage Botanicals collection. Now, confession time, I bought this collection in May and haven't used it yet. This is my first time using it. I simply haven't had the time. And as some of you will know, after a big decision on my part a few weeks ago, I now have a little more time to myself to make projects that are just for me, using stuff that I've bought, and I'm really enjoying the opportunity. So anyways, yes, this is a beautiful collection, which is just me all over. It's like botanicals and vintage and butterflies, and I just love all of it. So the photo I'm scrapping is one I took a couple of months ago. I've scrapped a lot of photos from this particular photo taking session. We have a large buddleia plant outside our house, and it was a really beautiful day in August, and the buddleia was just covered in butterflies. They were everywhere, and I took so many photos, and this is one of my favorites because it's quite close up and you can see the butterfly's little face really well, and I just love it, and I thought it would be really would work with this collection really nicely. So I chose that paper after a lot of umming and ahhing. You probably saw at the beginning I just couldn't decide what paper to use because all of them would have worked, but I eventually settled on this one. And I'm using the stamp set from this collection just to add a little more of a pattern and stuff in the background. Every time I choose a new stamp and a new colour, I do a little test stamp behind where the photo is going just to see how the colour works with the layout. So obviously you won't be able to see the test one, so if I didn't end up liking it, it wouldn't matter because the photo would cover it up. And I'm just using all sorts of alcohol based / sort of archival inks that will not react when I put any water based products on top of them. I've got Stays On in Dove Grey and archival ink in Peat Moss and Sepia, I think. I could be wrong there. But anyways, once all that stamping is done, I think there's like 3 types of butterflies and like the little plant. I'm going to take the washi from this collection and just rip up little shreds and pieces of it and use that to create a little background for my photo. I've got such a thing for ripped up washi at the moment. I don't know what it is, but that's what I'm doing right now. After a while, I decided that just using the 3 tapes from the collection would not be quite enough, so I pulled out 2 really wide ones from my stash just to like take up some of the space and stuff, just to sort of tone it down a bit as well, because the tapes from the collection are all quite bold and patterned and stuff, and I thought if I just use some like white ones, like this one which is just white with some scripty writing on, and this white one that's just got some sort of brown florals on, just tone it down a little bit, but you've still got that ripped up effect. So I'm just keeping going with that, checking against my photo every now and again, seeing what areas I need to fill up, where I don't need to put it, and so on and so forth. And I just keep going with that for a little while, and then once I'm happy with that, oh no, one little bit more. I think I wanted some little bit more rippedy edges at the edges. And once that was done, I decided I wanted to add a little bit of stenciling, so I pulled out my little stenciling albumy thing here where I store my stencils. This is the floral one. I keep all the floral ones together and then all the other pattern ones together. In the end, I pulled out my favourite floral stencil, which I use all the time, which is this Kaiser Craft one, which I can never remember the name of. I think it's like a blossom something. I just love it. It's so pretty. I'm going to be devastated when this stencil eventually like gives up on me. I should probably look out for a spare. But anyways, I'm just using some Prima texture paper paste for that, just to add a little bit of something on top of the washi, make it look a little less blocky, I suppose, just break it up a bit. And I just love that light little floral. It's quite hard to see on camera. You don't see it as well, especially being far away. Obviously the camera's quite high up, but in person it stands out really nicely. And then obviously I'm going to back my photo, just pulling out the 6x8 paper pad from this collection to do that. Just add a really thin blue backing around the photo itself, and then chose that paper there, which is all like vintagey seed packets and stuff. I love it. And then did quite a wide backing on this one, and then pulled out my Dovecraft Distress tool, and I'm really distressing up and messing up those edges before I stick that down with some tacky glue. I felt if I used double-sided tape it wouldn't have stuck on the washi as well, especially some of that washi is kind of like that slightly shiny washi, so I thought wet glue would be better, and I'm just plonking something heavy on top of that to keep it down. And then from here on out is a whole load of embellishing. You can see on the right hand side there, just forgetting my left from right for a second there, on the right in that little gold tray, I have loads and loads of little fussy cut butterflies. You may have noticed right at the beginning of this video I pulled out a paper, 12 by 12 paper from this collection, which is all butterflies, and I fussy cut about not even a quarter of it, I would say, but I still have plenty of butterflies to use for one layout, and I think I had some left over at the end of it as well. What I was playing with just there was the 6x4 sticker pack from this collection, and pulled out like a little tab and some phrases and like those square stickers which I layered up. Because I'd done that really wide backing on the photo, I had lots of opportunity to put stuff around the picture and slightly over the picture as well. And then I took all of my fussy cut butterflies, or at least the ones that I wanted to use. I went around all of them with Distress Oxide in milled lavender, just to sort of tone down the edges a little bit, give them that same vintagey vibe that the whole layout has. And I used the purple just because I thought it would be, the milled lavender that is, I thought it would be prettier than using like a grey like pumice stone or something. And then most of the butterflies are getting stuck down with glue dots, apart from there's a lot of butterflies on that fussy cut sheet which are like, you know, when they have their wings folded like half a butterfly. So I've put those ones around the photo so they're like kind of landing on it, and some of them meant I just needed to use a little foam square, a little 3mm foam square, just to prop them up so everything was like balanced and stuff like that. Then for my title, I'm using this Hello Friend. This is from Vicky Boutin's Field Notes collection. I just thought the black would work, because black works with anything, generally speaking. And yeah, I just thought Hello Friend was quite cute, because you can see a cute little butterfly face, and it's like, hello friend, butterfly. Anyway, that's what I used. I thought it was quite cute. And I'm adding extra tacky glue to those letters and title, just because they're that sort of weird, that plasticky material, which is kind of like chipboard. It just does not stick down very well. It pops off really easily. So I always add extra glue to those. And then I thought I'd add a little bit of journaling to the top. I don't often journal on my layouts, but sometimes I just think it'll look nice. And the background paper had like little hints of writing and stuff, so I thought that would just work really nicely. I used if anyone's into pens, it's a Lamy Safari Fine Nib, and I used Diamine Graphite ink, which meant the grey worked really nicely. Like, it's quite subtle journaling, you can read it easily, but it's not standing out too much, and it works really nicely with the whole overall tone of the layout. Then I did, of course, some splatters. I used Distress Oxide sprays in Cracked Pistachio and Victorian Velvet, and what I wasn't sure about either of those colours, particularly the Cracked Pistachio, so I just sort of sprayed a little bit onto that paper that I covered up my photo with, just to test to see if the colour would work nicely, and it did, so I chose those. And then, of course, Nouveau drops. I love my Nouveau drops. I use Crystal drops in Soft Mint and Vintage drops in, I think it's Earl Grey, I think. Correct names are always in the description if I mess them up, which I usually do. And that is that layout complete. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. I'll leave as many links as I can in the description box, but this collection has been out for a few months, so who knows how many links I'll find to that, but we will see. Anyways, I'm going to shut up and go. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Chat to me down in the comments, and yeah, going. Thanks again. Bye bye.